distance, the thin line that separates your shadows from my soul. As these walls begin to fold, head lost in the silence, cold stars illuminate the secrets on your tongue and the poison in my lungs. Every passage ends, a new road begins. The further I descend, your labyrinth. Blind eyes in the darkness, frail hands reaching out, sword echoes in the smoke as the doors behind me close. No cure for the madness, each turn tangled in the fear of losing sight of the slowly fading light. The further I descend, your labyrinth.
gentlemen, to day 4 of this week 1 of Talent League matches. My name is Kyle, and here with me today to commentate this amazing match of Noetic versus Hyferion5 is Ben. Ben, are we excited for this matchup?
We
What are you expecting?
we most certainly are excited for this matchup. Noetic are Season 4 champions. Coming back, we get to see them back in action after a bit of a hiatus over our break. And Hyferion5, a team that absolutely smashed it through the minor league last season, managed to qualify, promote up. We'll be ready to see what they can bring in the big league, take on the big names, just see what damage they can deal this season. I think you have to give the edge slightly to Noetic because of their background, their history, their legacy. They're to back champions. I think they won back to back to back. Maybe it was back to back to back. So 3 seasons in a row they've been on top. That's no mean feat, but it should be noted that they don't tend to have the greatest track record through the regular season, qualifying for playoffs. But last season they weren't finishing first. Bit of a chance for an upset, maybe.
Yeah, and it's always the start of the season, as I mentioned. So, it's always good to get on the right foot, and Hyferion5 could do that today. If we want to take a look at our community vote to see how you guys thought the match was going to go, looks like most of you thought Noetic was going to take it 81% to a 19% from Hyferion5.
Yeah, it's quite a steep vote in the sense that it is very Noetic favoured, and that's not a surprise really to many people, as like I said, they're our champions back to back to back. They are a very dominant team, they're a very strong roster, and they really tend to play very well in Talent League R6, so you can't take that away from them. No one thought it would be a draw. And that's because, you know,
Yeah, who would have?
you can't. You can't. But that's not the point. The point is that it should be a good game, and well, clearly the audience has their favorite champion ready.
Most definitely. If we want to take a look at our map bans to see where we're going today for this matchup, seems like Noetic wants to go to Oregon, one of our favorite maps here on the Talent League.
Yes, favorite.
And yeah, everyone loves it. Hyperion5 decided to go with Villa. I'm interested for that Villa matchup for sure. I want to see what comes out there. A bit of variety here in the Talent League, so
Love that.
pretty great second map, but we'll see how Oregon goes.
Yeah, I think the fun thing is always to start with the fun map, which is going to be Villa, our second map, like you said. And Villa is a map that you sometimes see hanging around. Some teams really don't like it because it's quite long, quite horizontal. There's a lot of inconveniences, a couple of flank routes that defenders can really try and take to catch you off guard. But we did see it get played in yesterday's playday, and that was quite a fun match between two interesting teams, Karlstad Kings and Volgara. And that Villa game was quite a spectacle to watch with a lot of big moments that just showed what power you can have as a defender when you catch your attacker off guard, when you push aggressively. Whether we'll see that translate today in our match for you is we'll have to see. Now, I think Villa, should be a very fun and enjoyable match with new things always coming up. Teams always kind of creating it. It never has this stale feeling that certain maps, not to name any names, definitely not one that we're going to be seeing first of all today. Sometimes you have these kind of vibes around them, and I think Villa is well clear of that.
Yeah, most definitely. And I think the biggest thing about Villa is that everyone forgets about the bottom floor. The basement is almost never touched, but that's what you touched on earlier is, that flank route. That's a great way of using the map to the defender's potential and having a roamer like Vigil, do some damage to the attackers.
I want to give some credit here to one of the players from Volgara. Juan was actually able to get a spawn kill from the garage door.
Wow.
Yeah, it was impressive onto a jackal, and so that's the sort of thing that you not necessarily a spawn peak from there, but using that space which never really gets touched upon.
Right.
We look at the other hand on Oregon, and it's actually quite interesting when you're playing a top floor defense. You will actually see teams making pretty good use of that basement for rotations. And now that you have that third staircase that got added in the rework, you now have access from bottom white, you can get to big tower, you can also get back to lobby. A lot more interesting options that have been opened up with the changes that have come to Oregon. Oregon, though, as a map, fairly well known. Both these teams should have their plans in place. They should know their strategies, have operator picks on the lock. They should know what to expect. But is there anything interesting that we could see?
Great question. I think if we're gonna see anything interesting, it's gonna come out of the operator bans here soon. I think hopefully we see some interesting, but I'm not sure. We're probably gonna expect a Thatcher ban. We're probably gonna expect possibly a Mira ban. Hopefully we see like a Valkyrie ban, maybe Nomad ban. We're not sure. Maybe a Vigil ban would be pretty cool too. But I'm not 100% sure if we're gonna see anything out of the ordinary here on Oregon. Like you said, I think both of these teams know their strategies. We've seen Oregon bunches of times. Everyone knows how to attack every site. So,
well, that is the first thing out the way, the bookkeeping, the updates, and the welcome. And now we'll be jumping into map number 1, Oregon. And, like you said, maybe a Thatcher ban coming out first. Would be an interesting way to change that. But you mentioned that Vigil pick, where if that is off the table, it does change up how the attackers can use their drones, the information they have available to them. It will begin to change. But it will be Hyferion starting on the defense, meaning they get to ban the first attacking operator. And
roll. Oh, ace. Okay.
now that's an
Smart ban.
interesting operator to get rid of. One of the 2 ranged hard breaches in the game. It means if they want to be able to open that wall from game's master bedroom cubby, if they want to get that wall opened up from outside, they will need to be picking up that Habana. Otherwise, you have to have the thermite go in, and that risks putting you in the line of a nitro cell or some impact play from below. And there we see the Thatcher. So a slightly interesting ban phase. Still got that Thatcher ban, interestingly taken out by Noetic, who are attacking first.
Right. You typically don't want to see that from the attacking team, but maybe they're just used to it, Everyone's used to not having the Thatcher, so they just want to get rid of it. Maybe they're thinking of when they side swap and they're on the defense, they don't want to deal with the Thatcher. And Kaid's off the board. Very, very good pick by Noetic there, as it'll be easier for like a Maverick, for instance, to get those walls open for Thermite or Habana.
Absolutely, and I think when you're getting rid of that Thatcher, Cade is the nemesis to the attackers because of how easy it is to hide those electro claws in awkward positions where the Kali charges can't get them. The infamous example that I can give to you is, in fact, on Clubhouse, a map we will not be seeing tonight. But on the server wall, you can hide an electro claw above that drone hole on the red corridor, and you can hide another one behind those monitors on the shelf, and it becomes impossible for a Kali charge, a Kali lance, to get those electro claws gotten rid of. It becomes impossible for frag grenades to really get them because you place them high enough that the explosive radius isn't going to quite catch it out. It makes it a little bit more tricky for the attacking lineup. But the final ban came through, which was the Mira. Mira, very standard operator, another one which you paired with that Thatcher that you said you expected to get rid of. And I mean, is there any reason particularly that teams just don't want to deal with Mira? There's some interesting opportunities, but what's your take? Just a comfort ban?
Yeah, definitely a comfort ban. I would say Mira's one of the hugest influential operators on the defense. No one wants to deal with those one-way mirrors. It's going to be a lot more difficult if she was on the defense. It would be a lot more difficult for the attackers such as Thermite and Habana to get those breach charges off onto those certain major walls that you want to get open, such as the elbow walls in basements. But I'm glad that they got rid of it. It's going to make attacking so much easier for Noetic going forward. And I just want to touch on that Hyferion5 is going to kitchen meeting first, so their offsite for the first round is going to be interesting. I think they're playing into the hands of Noetic here, as they decided to bring double hard breach. So So maybe they were expecting a possible top floor take.
10 seconds left before
Yeah, I think it's an interesting one when you see this kind of like
5
first
seconds
of all. It implies, we said, that they want to try and catch their opponent off guard. They want to play the mind games a little bit. Maybe they're not quite warmed up on how to attack this site. Maybe they haven't quite put their plans in motion. And it's going to be up to Noetic to very quickly adapt to the situation around them, to recognize that this is going to be the site, which you should be able to locate rather quickly when you see that castle barricading up the main lobby door. But now it's going to be, how do they choose to take this? What is the approach they're going for? And it looks like it's going to be starting on the tower.
Yes. We'll see if they decide to go with those vertical angles. I think they're just trying to gather information, repelling on some of these windows, seeing if there's any roamers, if they can catch any of the defenders off guard here. Lucy is playing upstairs, so we'll see if she can catch anyone sleeping through this interesting peek hole in the small bunk room. And Castle's roaming on the downstairs with Wamai also roaming, so this is an interesting defensive setup so far.
Yeah, they are really trying to hold on to the above ground so they can try and contest anyone pushing onto stage. They have the prepared angles. And it's like Autumn might be getting to an early bit of scuffle as he's going to be droned out. That Mute forced to fall back a little bit, but only as a bait, walking back up to get the drone, but it's going to lose their life in the process. Nako taking the best of that opportunity to find the opening pick on the first pick of the round, as Keto is also going to find another pick onto Jamil. That's the Echo going down very early on. MP9 keeping things competitive, removing Nako from board. Nako able to find that opening pick. Obviously, is a very powerful player on the side of Noetic, and getting him off the board is only going to do them wonders. But now, from the 4 versus 3, they will have to find a way to hold on a little bit longer, as complete control meeting has fallen to Noetic. Skies keeps on pushing his lead, and it flashed out by his teammate, but that won't matter for too much longer. Profit trying to find something from down below, and Stizzy also in position by Zulu. They know that they need to try and get back in before this plant starts to go down. Clutcher yet hasn't committed to it, and as I say that, of course, in classic fashion, the Nitrocell is not, in fact, in the pocket of Profit. He had those impact grenades instead. MP9 going to get caught out, though, by Crack. That's upstairs, the Habana holding that hatch, and now, in the 2 versus 4 situation, Skies will go down, but quickly get refragged as Crack picks up another. Stizzy now has 3 to find as well. He was able to close out Skies, but he couldn't do any more. Keto, with a couple of shots going over the head, will eventually be able to shut out the first round, and that is Noetic taking that attack on the offsite.
Yeah, that was beautifully done. I think what really went wrong there for Hyferion5 is that mute play. He really focused on that drone. Sophia got the pick onto him, and that's what fell for Hyferion5 there, is that meeting control was influential, was the most how do I say it, the most influential room in that defensive hold was that meeting room. And once the attackers got control of that, it was all over. The plant got down, and we saw how Noetic took that one. They weren't caught off guard very much that first round.
Absolutely, and I think it's the difficulty of the positioning of Meeting Kitchen as a bomb site is there aren't a lot of comfortable spots to sit inside a meeting. We saw Echo using his shield quite far back inside of Kitchen in the rotate hole, and that was the purpose of that, to give them a sightline onto that breach that we saw get opened up by Clutcher on that thermite. But the Yokais weren't in position to deny the plant, or at least they hadn't been set up correctly, and it didn't even matter if they were, because he was removed from play very early on by Kiko.
And now they're deciding to go upstairs, Hyferion5 being they. Maybe a more comfortable area for them to sit. A lot of defenders have a better angles to sit at and hold, and just wait for the attackers to come to them. We'll see if they decide to do a heavy roam game like they did the last round. I'm not sure if they will decide to do that or not, but we see Valkyrie here in the showers area. I wonder where she put her cameras to see if she could get some interesting intel. Maybe a runout's coming here soon.
Yeah, and it's interesting that they are choosing to do this, and I think there's nothing wrong with picking an off-site first just to try and catch your opponent off guard, but when it goes pear-shaped, as it did in the last round, just being able to transition away, pick up one of the more comfortable sites, such as the kids' dorms, it's quite good to be able to do, and On the Noetic, they know what they need to do. They're making their way, pushing down through, double checking that drone isn't a Mozzie pest, because they don't quite know if Mozzie's still on play. Using those Hibana pets to get rid of that mute jammer, that's very efficient and smart play from Crack, being very self-sufficient in his job over in tower, meaning that an explosive doesn't have to be expended by one of his teammates. There's no need to go down into meeting. But things starting off rather slowly here.
Yeah, interesting to note that they brought the Goyo with the Jaeger Wamai combo, so they're going to be able to sit in, on these shields for a while. Thermite's trying to get this breach charge off here. Mute takes away the jammer to get rid of this breaching round from Ash and puts down the jammer. What a great juggle from Mute there.
Yeah, that normally isn't very successful, but I guess the slight lack of communication between Clutcher there with Nako means that he's gonna be able to get that off, and I think that's very impressive. It shouldn't normally be able to happen. That attic has now been opened up, and it's gonna be Jamil on that Wamai this time, playing very far back, just stalling it out. Autumn picking up Skies, the first big pick comes through. The exothermic charge eventually going to be able to get off, and Autumn continuing to play very aggressively on games just to try and slow down any push from this attacking lineup. He's doing a great job at it so far, just holding on his bad time, as it's reaching the last minute and not much has been achieved for the They have the openings they want, but Jamil is still able to contest Pit across the attic. Well, Autumn very close on this wall with Clutcher. Not that he knows it, I don't think, because he's preparing to go for a swing.
Yeah, interesting to note that he has the SMG out, not the shotgun. Gets the kill. Bomb is down. They know this. It's 2v4 now. The Yana of Keto's going off in the attic. There's only 37 seconds left, though. Nako of the Sophia is trying to pick up this bomb, try and figure out where the mute is. Once on Bear, gets the Jaeger gets the kill onto Ayana, and now it's a 1v3 situation, 25 seconds left. Looks like the defenders have this one.
Ooh. The Nitro Cell just leaving Nako with a slither of HP, but a quick swing is going to pick up the first of the three. Two members remaining, Stizzy and MP9 just want to hold on tight, and there we go, he pushes in to try and get onto that default plant position, but Stizzy watching from pit door, going to be able to catch him out as he tries to rotate.
Yeah, much better hold from Hyferion5 there. Let's see if they can take that momentum into what I would guess would be basement. See if they bring that Goyo again. I think that played a really good part into that defensive hold. It really got rid of a lot of utility for the attackers. And that mute juggle was also pretty influential as well. It took a little bit of time for them to get that breach off into master bedroom closet. So, you know, all in all, great defensive round, as we're going to see Clash go away, which is kind of sad. I wanted to see it happen.
Oh, I would have loved to see a Clash. And I think basement is one of those sites where Clash can really flourish, as well, there's a couple thin angles that attackers really want to push down. You're looking at coming into bunker, you have to get through that double door. And as long as you have a teammate supporting you by holding the tower staircase, you can't really be contested that much. You have an ADS to maybe protect yourself from a loose grenade. It can be very powerful, but they're using it as a bait pick because it just prepares Noetic for something where they have to start thinking about it. They have to have a plan ready, and maybe it forces a change of operators. Maybe they end up swapping onto a Nomad. Maybe they decide to bring something like the Captain. Very powerful operator, but not often seen without that Clash on the defensive side.
Yeah, I think it would have been smart, though, to bring the Clash. As you see, the defenders have Maestro, Goyo, Wamai, and Jaeger. That's like 4 out of the 5 defenders there are taking away utility from the attackers, and the only attacker on Noetic's side of things that can really stop a Clash is Zofia, and those are only 2 stuns. After those 2 stuns are gone, Clash would have been really annoying, but we'll see how it goes for Hyferion5 this round, as Noetic's gonna try and see what they can do, where they decide how they want to attack this bomb site.
Yeah, and on the attacker side of things, it's an interesting adaptation that's been made by Clutcher here on this Thermite, because, well, Thermite recently gained access to those smoke grenades. Ace decided that he didn't really want them anymore. He'd give them away to charity, and, well, you know what, Thermite even was in need of something. He needed a little bit of a kick. And Six just thought, you know what, Thermite, here you go, here's some smoke grenades. But Clutcher instead choosing to go for those stun grenades because they've recognized that this player with the Wamai and Jaeger combination alongside this Goyo is in fact being brought out by Hyperion. very consistently. It's been brought both in the previous round, and it was also used somewhat, not in its full extent, in the round before. And so when you start to see this becoming a pattern, bringing that extra set of stun grenades is very important. The pacing in this round is a lot faster, as they're already starting to take control of Freezer, remove these Maestro cameras, start to get rid of some of this utility that we were talking about. They're doing a pretty good job considering the lack of the changes to how operating utility is divided between the attackers.
Yeah, and we're probably going to see an attacking push here with 45 seconds to go. They're just checking all the boxes to get all these hatches open, try and hold these angles. Maestro knows the location of at least one in Freezer. Well, let's see how it goes, as I think they're going for a Freezer/laundry push here.
Yeah, and we saw this type of push come into popularity quite a lot recently. Earlier on, adopters were that of G2 in the lead up to SI, but a quick trade coming out. Jamil picking up one with Nako catching Stizzy out in response. But also Sky's getting caught out on that main staircase. It means that this attack has been somewhat halted. A lovely swing by Prophet is going to catch out Crack, but Clutcher able to pick up pieces as he's trying to hold on to what is left of this round. 2 attackers against the 3 remaining. Jamil in a really powerful position here to deny both these pushes. The Prophet is on very low HP and will have to be somewhat careful as the smoke canisters continue to go out. And it's going to be Jamil picking up a quick double kill here. He's able to take out Keto, and Clutcher is all that is left of the attacking forces of Noetic. He has 15 seconds to find 3 members remaining, 2 on relatively low HP, but Autumn still causing absolutely havoc with these toxic babes, slowing down his progress, and it looks like, well, that will be the round in Hyferion's pocket unless some form of a miracle comes through, and no, it'll be Autumn collecting another with that SMG-11, which they've shown some pretty good proficiency with so far this game.
Yeah, really smart from the smoke there, holding all 3 canisters till the last second. As I said, the execute's going to come late on those basement holds for the attackers, so just holding those canisters for as long as possible really stops the push from them, and that's really kind of what won them the round in the end there, along with Maestro's gun, because, you know, we all know that all that goes burr.
It does, in fact, go burr. And it's just one of those things that's just so frustrating sometimes to come into as an attacker. 80 bullets in the magazine means you never really have to take your foot off the pedal. You just keep it going, and yeah, it was something that really helped them in holding down Freezer for much longer because they never had to worry about falling back, taking a bit of cover, take a breather as you had to reload your gun. Where I say that Goyo was in position with that Vector, that is a magazine that empties very, very quickly. It just means they can keep up in those areas, and that slowed down the attack a lot. But they are going to be returning now to kitchen and dining.
Yeah, it looks like the same 5 operators they brought the first time around, except for the attackers, they swapped Thermite for a Maverick. So we'll see how that plays out in this next round. But it looks like they might go for the same setup they had prior.
5 seconds to go.
Yeah, I think it is what this Maverick will allow them to do as the attackers to not have to worry about these mute jammers, because we saw when they were attacking onto the top floor, when they were attacking the kids' dormitory, we saw Habana Crack. He was using a set of 2 X-Kairos on the floor below in meeting to pop that mute jammer on the attic wall. But alas, if that wall is also reinforced and also mute jammed, then you can't quite achieve your goal in that respect. And so they need some form of a way to get past it. You could bring a Kali, but bringing this Maverick enables you to have a bit more hard breach, and it also brings with it its own set of frag grenades, and frag grenades are a very powerful tool.
Would certainly agree. Also, I'm not sure Oregon is the best map to bring a sniper on, so I think a Maverick is a pretty good pick here, as we already see him using his Bullsword to get this beam jammer. Though Wamai of MP9 on the other side, trying to see if he can see the feet, and no. Crack of Habana gets the kill off, and they're going to get this wall open relatively quickly.
Yeah, and that's a really good start for Hyferion5 in this round. I think they're just trying to decide if they want to use those X-Kairos or whether they'd rather save them for the floor below. And it looks like they've realized that actually getting that backstage wall opened up with the X-Kairos is going to make life just a little bit easier they're going to open it up with the blowtorch, maybe use some explosives from either Nako or Skies, just to properly pop that one open up, give them some access into Attic. But another swing from Autumn does not go in his favor. This is the same mistake, more or less, happening twice in a row. And, well, that's that stage control ceded to the attackers. There's still a minute 20 on the clock for them to decide how they want to continue moving through this round as they drop that diffuser off to Crack. Clutch now trying to find an angle, but Stizzy going to pick up Skies in some form of retaliation. Doesn't mean there are 3 members left in defense with only 4 remaining now. Which is a lot easier odds to come back from, but they still need to find a way to break through. Mako testing their shield for an ADS, which does not exist. Although the Yokai drone downstairs has been caught out, which definitely opens things up for the attack now as that plant is beginning to go down. Her head bopping down behind the stage means that Habana is going to be safe from the angle held by Stizzy as the push comes in. Clutcher is able to refrag as Nega goes down, but Keto picks up Jamil at the same time, and it's all down to Stizzy once again in the 3 versus 1. They know exactly what corner he's in, but Keto makes himself clear. Crack with the sparing 9 is able to cover his comrade. Will secure the round. That silk skin looking absolutely lovely, but that bearing control even nicer.
What a nade from that Ayana to protect Habana getting that plant down. That was the castle there on that meeting connector door was the only person that could really stop Habana from getting the plant off, and that nade really just made him go back a bit, get the plant off, and it was just easy pickings from there as they knew the locations of the last couple of defenders that they had to take care of after the bomb was down.
Absolutely, and it just shows how well oiled Noetic are. They know where their risks are and they know what they need to push through. And now it will just be seeing whether they can follow this through on their next 2 attacks, attacking sites that previously they weren't quite so successful on, as it's going to be a return to this top floor bomb site.
It'll be interesting to see how this Mozzie pick comes out for Hyferion5. MP9 is deciding maybe they have too much information on their drones, so he wants to get rid of as many drones as possible with those pests. As he tried Valkyrie the last time they were on this site, and I guess he didn't gain as much information as he would like. So we'll see how that plays out. It's the only thing that really brings or catches my eye, rather.
Couldn't agree more. It's going to definitely change up the dynamic of Noetic's attack. That Yana becomes all the more valuable with the introduction of those pests as well, because while her Gemini is not a drone, it will not get caught out. It will pass through gracefully and unbothered. It does mean that Keto is going to be way more useful at collecting information than the rest of his team, has a bit more at his disposal to do so. Profit playing downstairs, trying to cause some problems with this Goyo, hunting drones at the moment, I believe. Just, again, continuing this game of denying information. He's getting quite aggressive inside a tower, just trying to hide away in the stairs for now, but oh, they spotted him on a drone. Keto they see him on the pre-place, they know exactly where he is. He thinks he's undetected. Solid Snake, in fact, he is not, although that camera might give him some indication that a drone is on his position.
Oh. Oh, that would have been such a pick from MP9 as he got that drone pested off, so they didn't know his location. Ash does get the first pick onto the mute of Autumn, so they already have good decent control towards Armory. Zophia's already in Bear, and Goyo is still living here on these stairs, but they know his location. They're just waiting for him to rotate off, and he might die here in the next... Yep, right there. 4 versus 2, a minute 40 left. This looks like a Noetic round.
Yes, Dizzy was also caught out on site, and it means that the 2 remaining players, MP9 and Jamil is alone on site at the moment. It hasn't quite been discovered by the attackers, otherwise I'm sure they would have pushed in a little bit more aggressively, but MP9 now needs to get to this white stairs, needs to give his teammate some support. Otherwise, well, I mean, even with the support, they're going to get flooded in numbers in this 4 versus 2. But a 4 versus 1 is much, much worse. Jamil, though, going to get Keto off the board. And that's the Yana gone out of play before those frag grenades can get rid of that shield as well. Although a lovely spot by Jamil, he takes out Clutcher on the swing. And now it's the 2 versus 2 MP9 in a position to give him some support as well. Skies and Crack really have their work cut out for them here as they need to try and push inside, recover that diffuser. They are a little bit split, however, which does put them at a back disadvantage, because if they don't push in together, then they're going to get caught in a 1 versus 2, followed by a 1 versus 2. They need that refrag potential, which is why we're going to see Crack going for that rotation to join his teammate Skies. They feel that with that breach opened up, it gives them way more access into site, which is what Crack's going to go for here. Does he know that MP9 is holding the angle on the breach through the rotation hole? That's what we're going to have to wait and see. But Crack will pick up Jamil, first of all, on the door, who tried to replicate his prior successes, but wasn't quite able to do so. Sky's now trying to probe the site, get the information, and it's going to go out as MP9 misses a couple of shots. He's forced back into sight, hiding away inside of the kids' dormitory on the A-bomb chassis. But now, the plant will go down for Crack as he's rotated into pit.
10 seconds remaining.
They know, I think they heard him rotate. It looks like Skies is dead aware of his location as he goes for a quick free jiggle, but no! Skies will be superior in that engagement and take the home round for Noetic.
Wow, that was a little bit stressful there, as I felt like it was almost a cast or curse of me saying it was a Noetic round, about a minute left, and it came down to a 2 versus 2. Woo, I was sweating. Oh my gosh. That was quite the round. Great stuff from Hyferion5 there, honestly. Taking it down to a 2v2 was, you know, a really good effort. Unfortunately, they did lose that round. They're deciding to go back, however. I think they saw something they didn't like, so they want to try and see if they can do something different, as I think Valkyrie might be coming out this round.
Yeah, and it does... Well, this is the site they were able to win out somewhat comfortably before, but that change in the last round for Noetic has now showed that they are here to tango, and, well, are they going to take this back again? They've won it up, they're going to return to it. They just need more of the same. And like you said, that Valkyrie is the difference. It's another intel operator. And I think the big thing is not so much the operators they're bringing. I think it's more so how they're going to play. They can't afford to lose profit and have MP9 mess you out in tower so early on, because that's what left Autumn vulnerable. It left a gap where previously you had a support system where Autumn couldn't be pushed from 2 angles at a time without at least getting some refrags on the board, and that was the successes that Autumn has been able to find previously in getting early picks, getting aggressive on this breach and slowing down the assault, picking up hard breaches at the same time. We'll have to wait and see how things play out, though. MP9 continuing to play downstairs, and well, we're going to be dropping down into the basement using these hatches that they've been doing a really good job of actually just playing around with the locations that they have accessible to themselves, just changing up their positioning and keeping somewhat hidden from Noetic.
And we still see the Goyo of Prophet on the roam here, and Valkyrie is down below in the basement. Ash started getting the charge off to try and see if she can get those mute jammers. And Autumn is down. Let's see if she can get picked up. Ash just down to low HP, and now Ash is down. Sissy gets that frag, and MP9 gets another one, and they're going to get that mute picked back up. It's going to be a 5v3.
That is a fantastic start for Hyferion5 in this round. I mean, just turning that around from an injured player to a quick double kill as they got very aggressive trying to see off their kill. And it now means Autumn still playing on top of that table, playing very aggressive in the breach. 20 health left, means they have to be a little bit more careful. But now Nako trying to get some work done downstairs. Doesn't realize there are 2 players in close proximity. Finds the first, though. That's Prophet going down. A quick peek from MP9 isn't quite able to secure the kill. Nako able to skate away with 35 HP remaining, but wants to come back for more. Smells blood in the water as this execute is trying to come through. They're trying to find their way into sight, get these picks, but nothing seems to be falling quite in the right place.
Yeah, most definitely not. Still a minute 20 left to work with, so we'll see if they can get it down to maybe a 3 versus 3 with 45 seconds left. They're trying to just get rid of all this utility, especially those Jaeger radiuses on the bare wall. Unfortunately, they're going to remain there. They are burned out, but I do not believe they have anything else to push through this door. They now know the location of Autumn, who is on low HP, so they might swing this. But they do have a long angle into the big bunk area. Thermite's just waiting to see if he does the new process. He does! What a great pick from Clutcher. 40 seconds left. The execute has to come here fast. It's a 3v3. Zofia is on low HP, however, so that is a big no coming down to the last remaining seconds. And Valkyrie still has her nitro. Is it going to be a free play? Oh, he plays Nitro as well, so we'll see how this works out. With 20 seconds left, Habana gets the first pick into this execute. This is
Attackers
going to be
located
a
a
fight
bomb.
to the death here.
15 seconds to go. Attackers dropped a diffuser.
They were
10
able to
seconds
find
left.
one Jamil catching Clutcher out in response. 7 seconds on the time, acts pretty aggressively, but that Bearing 9 once again doing absolute wonders for Crack. He has been going to it in these close range situations, and it hasn't done him badly to do so. Able to secure that round, another successful attacking round on that top floor also.
Yeah, and we're going to go to the side swap. I think the one thing to note here for Hyferion5 is the last couple of top floor dorm holds for them on the defense. They were placing the Goyle shields in the same place. They kind of had the same strategy for each time they try to hold the top floor. And I think that's what really lost them the last couple rounds they went up top, is definitely just having certain things in the same place. I think Noetic found that out, learned, and
Attackers
just
need to
decided
locate and
on
defuse
how
as
they
many
could
bombs
attack
as
it
they can.
each and every round.
Yeah, now we're seeing this change up. Going to the basement site, we only saw it once in the first half. Hyferion taking that as one of their 2-round wins. And, well, an unexpected turn of events in some eyes, as they were able to pull back from that 2, will bring back 2 more wins on their attacking half. Noetic now have to try and hold things down, see this out. 3 wins will do it for them. And, well, Oregon is a map where the defense should certainly be very comfortable. It all now depends on Hyferion's preparation
10 seconds remaining.
and how ready they are to attack on the site, what they have planned, what they have in mind.
5
Looks like a
seconds
couple
to
drones
insertion.
set up outside a bunker would indicate they're well ready for the challenge ahead.
Attackers' objective is to locate
Yeah,
the bomb
I would
and
definitely say stay away from that elbow. There's a Rooney laser gate on the wall. There's a Malusi Banshee right after it. And then on the corner of elbow, there's a Goyo shield and an ADS. I'm pretty sure someone's going to hold that shield, being ready for the attackers, but that's so much utility for the attackers to go through that I would recommend from not going there. But look at this. All 5 of them are going to decide that this is where they want to go. They want to take control of this elbow first. Let's see if they can get it done. Smoke canister goes out.
There is a use of a smoke canister, but that is just to continue to clear out this clock. Because that is really the name of the game here for the defense on elbow. You just want to slow down the attackers' resources, deplete them of everything they have available, and then begin to make your move and try and pick up some kills on their entry. Neko spots out that drone, isn't quite able to pick it up, doesn't want to expose himself too much in the goal of removing information, as the attackers just beginning to eke their way in through bunker now. They've realized that there's no one contesting them from this area where, I mean, that's why you'd want to get rid of that mirror. You don't want a mirror window looking down into the bunker. Well-tossed grenade is going to put Clutcher in a very difficult situation as he falls back to Harry Potter. Very low on HP, 20 points alone. It looks like the first player's coming down the stairs. It's going to be Prophet with that Zofia. Going to take him out of play. And while Clutcher had very little HP, it was a lovely shot by Prophet to close him out before he could do any real damage with that Vector.
Yeah, I was kind of a little stressed for Hyferion5 there. They decided to go with a little pinch push towards that tower. Great first pick, and now it's a 4v4 as the Ash of MP9 gets taken down. But they still have this control, which is really good. They're gaining more information. A minute left here, so it looks like they might take the round as the Jaeger of Skies gets taken down, but he is not out of the fight yet. Let's see if he gets picking up. The crack of a Rooney gets a little bit of bullets into her side, but she's still alive as well, and someone gets dead by an ex-Pyro? What?
Oh, you
I've never
can't do
seen
it
that.
to them, Autumn. You can't do it. He was injured on the wall. The wall getting popped open will finish off the job. Keto also on very little HP, but Crack trying to keep his team in. This one's going to take out Prophet as he pushes a little bit recklessly down from Pillar. The plant is going down, however, and they have this protection all aligned. So they have to back up actually as the smoke canister is coming through. That should be the last one as Skies puts himself in again, but I think he's actually in a position where he can be seen from Crack if he pushes too far in, and he does! Crack is able to catch out Stizzy, and it'll be Keto turning it onto Autumn. The round has fallen to shambles. Jamil has to try and close out in the 2 versus 1. A couple shots from Crack aren't quite going to land with their target. He checks the cubby, there's no one there. Jamil, you have 1 second, he's gonna stick that diffuser, try and hold on, try and hope something can happen. But he'll come off, save the KD. He knows, he hears the two defenders running straight for him to see who would get that first knife kill. And well, there we go. Noetic able to hold on tight from the 2 versus 4.
Oh, what a positioning from the crack of Aruni there. Oh my gosh. How did they didn't know his position, and he was in the right position to get that bomb planner killed, and that's what won him the round there. That was crazy. Oh my gosh. You think you've seen it all when you cast Siege, but that was just an interesting round. An ex-Kairos kill, someone not getting spotted in Freezer. Oh boy.
I think we will have to give sort of a PSA to anyone who's
Attackers
listening
need to
that
locate and
didn't
defuse
quite
bombs.
see the mistake in that round. And I always hate to put it on one player, because a round is never truly one person's fault that you lose, unless, of course, that one player threw a nitro cell into their team while picking up rook armor and set it off, killing everyone at a time. In which case, full well blame that one person. But otherwise, it's a bit more complex in Rainbow Six Siege, and one problem that we saw occur was Stizzy. With his plant location, what you want to do in that situation is instead stand in the doorway from Electric. You saw where he planted, rather than pushing as far in onto the Sheldon unit, which feels right, it feels comfortable, and it feels safe. Doorways
5
often
seconds
are
left
used as a
before
cheap little gimmick from a smoke plant, but actually on Oregon,
Attackers' objective
it's
is
the
to
correct
locate a
play
bomb
to go
and
for.
defuse
You
it.
plant in the doorway, because then that Breezer player will have to commit by walking out into the corridor, which we saw was being covered by Autumn. We saw it being covered from the elbow corner. And so if you use that to your advantage, you will be able to hit the plant down safely, presuming that your team are covering you. It's unfortunate, and in the heat of the moment, sometimes you want to get deeper in, get into a more comfortable, bunkered position. It can happen to the best of players, but ultimately it cost them a little bit in that round.
Yeah, definitely. I think what really cost him was the intel. I mean, the plant off wouldn't have mattered if no one was in that freezer, but like you said, if you plant in the doorway, it would have boded much better. What a shot from Prophet, taking the words out of my mouth, as we're already into the next round here.
Yeah, and that's going to be Keto off the board. Keto's such a powerful member of Noetic. I'm going to keep saying it, but I mean, everyone on Noetic has that factor about them where they just look for kills, they find kills, they pick you up.
Attackers have dropped the
ball.
bomb diffuser.
But
Attackers
Keto's
have
been doing a
recovered their
fantastic
diffuser.
job this game at doing that. He's been putting his potential to demonstration. And Nako, talking about people doing the job, what a shot catching out the second player through the same position. You don't re-peek Nako. He will take you down, and he's looking for his third. There's still one more player inside of Attic, and it's going to be Autumn take up the mantle next, throwing down the gauntlet. Will Nako deliver a third time? Yet to take any damage in the exchange, yet to use a toxic wave in retaliation. Nako cannot be stopped, but another player coming in to support Autumn. They know that this is the point they want to try and take control of, as MP9 is going to have those flashbangs thrown out for him. Use that drone, try and get some information, so they know what they're pushing into. Though Nako not going to pick that gauntlet up. He's going to pull back, take a better position. Well, it looks like he's going in again, getting re-aggressive, setting that toxic babe just to take down the clock. 10 seconds it will take for that gas to disappear. And in the meantime, the attackers are held at bay. 45 seconds now on the timer, and Skies also knows that they're there. He's playing off of the pit door just for that support onto Nako. They will go for the double peek, I'm sure. Nako hits a couple shots onto Autumn, brings him down to incredibly low HP. Can't quite find the final pick, and with Jamil going down elsewhere, they know exactly where the last two members are. Guy is able to pick up Autumn. The last card on the right. He's going to swing out into the doorway. Nako goes down, though. It's a bit too late for him, but 3 members of his team are still alive, and they should be able to hold this one back at bay. Should be able to see themselves onto match point with only 13 seconds on the clock. It's all down to MP9. He has to make his move. He's going to swing in. The prone angle from Skies being held behind the shield will catch MP9 out as he swings. No one expects that angle, and it will see them off to match point.
Yeah, most definitely. I think that basement round was the momentum swing for Noetic there, as it was a bit of punch for punch for both teams until that last round. I would say that's where it took Noetic to the top. That's where they want to be, and we're seeing really good stuff from our Season 4 champions so far.
Absolutely, they have completely delivered on all expectations. They dropped 2 rounds so far, and that was on their attacking half. You drop 2 rounds on attack, that's very acceptable, and they're absolutely making Hyferion pay for everything else. Otherwise, taking home all the rounds, picking up all the kills, playing out of their mind. And I mean, Nico in that last round was the complete
Attackers need to
embodiment
locate
of
and defuse
everything
as
that we
many bombs as they
expect
can.
from Noetic, just taking them absolutely to town.
Yeah, most definitely. They decide to
Bomb
go
located by
to
attackers.
a kitchen dining classroom. I'm not sure what that other room is called. Do you know, by chance?
This is in fact the dining room.
Aha, see? Alright. Okay. There we go. Learn something new every day.
That's what we promise here at 6. Nowhere else can you learn this much information.
Definitely not.
10 seconds to go.
I mean, I think this is an interesting one to go to. It
5 seconds
was
to go.
classically seen with an extension. Oh no, we're seeing it again. I was going to say this is classically seen with an extension into the shower, but with the change to Habana, where she can now shoot 2, 4, or 6 pellets, well, impact tricking became a lot harder. But this is a play that we saw from Noetic in their grand final last season. Was it their grand final or was it the semi-final where they played at Oregon? It's escaping my... I believe it was the grand final where we saw them pull this very same play, hiding the Ella shotgun up in the top. And it was to be able to be dealt with one of the 2 times that we saw it get executed on. The first time around, it didn't quite work out for them. The shotgun plays on the window completely caught them off guard. The second time around, some succinct throws from stuns and grenades alike were able to shut this down relatively quickly without too much worry. Will Hyferion be able to line themselves up to do so again? It looks like Clutcher hiding away, he's going to punch open that window, looking for the first pick, and he's going to find it. Profit going down. He didn't see that one coming. As Skies goes for the peak as well, picking up both Autumn and Stizzy. Hyferion falling apart. Jamil and MP9 now have 5 members to find, and so early on into a round, it's never that nice to lose all your team. Crack holding this angle from below. They know that Keto is the key to holding on here. If he stays alive, it becomes impossible for them to take control of this small tower. Sky's taking some damage, however, on the big window. The MP9 still unable to push in, gonna get rid of that shield. Sky's hitting the body a couple times, gonna get the injure out onto Jamil, but can't quite find him now that he's hidden around the corner. It doesn't matter, however, as Crack will pick up the kill onto MP9, claiming that injured kill for Skies, and that will be game number 1 of game 4, Playday 1 of Talent League R6, very much going in favor of Noetic.
Yeah, we're gonna head into a break here. Right after, we're gonna go to Hyferion5's pick on Villa. See you then.
As it's gonna get swiftly, the new gem is gonna get swiftly removed, and with that, Skies, and it's a 4-3 for Replito. I mean, the shot hit through Skies. Oh! He puts another one down as well. That's gonna be a triple kill for the dude. It's very true. Just a small tip: don't play Maverick if you can't play him.
Ready by Norm. Split push.
Hello.
He's gonna pick up the second kill of the round, and that's Diffuser down, forcing everyone.
Is he gonna go for the
to
first?
him.
Is he gonna go to the first?
No,
Yes, he does!
Doesn't know. Sorry, they know exactly where he is. Everyone's all side. Zoro
Give him
for the
number
4K.
4, yes!
He
Now let we change that as hell, and we're gonna say thank you, King Chad, for bringing out someone, but Askell, on the other hand, he's gonna steal the show apparently for this one, as he will take out Mirko. That's gonna be Ash off the board.
Barricade efforts some shots down towards that bottom player, but Ash still picking up a double kill on the round. A full coordination. He'll get injured and taken out, but the refrag from Askell as he swings through the doorway.
3 kills, another bomb. Will it be number 4? Will it be number 4? Yes, it will!
Kill!
These shots are gonna fly through it. It's still gonna work it fine. Askell goes with the ace!
He gets it! Let's go, Askell. He's keeping his team in it, and that's Yeah, tracked it. Ooh.
Coffin doesn't come out. Oh, I do like
He's getting very close now, Spring with a shotgun in hand even. But no, Chrome exposes himself, will get injured now by the smoke, and he's going to claim his guilt at his comrade Sky, Clutch, in the meantime. And Brandy going to get injured out, no more withstand, and Nearon ready and waiting, but they have to push the split. He turns it, run! He gets the ace! Nico, you're insane! He shut them all down, system.
That's your gun shots, and I also hear a bit of weakening sound. It must
It's
be
going to
so.
be Kevin on the Ash, going to get into a close engagement, but we've lost a little bit of activation, but it's going to be kill. It's going to be forced out into the position. They know where one is, but look like he still takes some damage. He quickly shuts down Zorro. He's a legend no more, but there's one hiding in the corner. Okay, he's got the corner, he's fighting the bomb. He cancels the bomb, but it's going to be Askell screaming up the fight. He wins the 1v1. An ace.
cast your shadows from my soul as these walls begin to fold. Head lost in the silence, cold stars illuminate the secrets on your tongue and the poison in my lungs. Where every passage ends, a new road begins. The further I descend, your labyrinth. Blind eyes in the darkness, frail hands reaching out, sword echoes in the smoke as the doors behind me close. No cure for the madness, each turn tangled in the fear of losing sight of the slowly fading light. Where every passage ends, a new road begins. The further I descend, your labyrinth. Your labyrinth.
Hello and welcome back to Talent League R6, Playday number 1, game number 4, map number 2. And we're going to be back on Villa this time around for Noetic versus Hyferion5. And we had an interesting first game on Oregon, resulting in a 7-2 scoreline in favor of Noetic. Very strong performance from them, including quite a spicy last round involving Small Tower and a shotgun, deployable shield on the top floor of Small Tower, and Sky speaking and getting a double kill from Big Window. But other than that, actually I think it might have been a triple kill. Apologies, guys. Other than that, it was a fairly enjoyable match to watch. I mean, that was enjoyable, but it was actually a lot of rounds coming down quite close to the wire, and I don't think the 7-2 scoreline properly represents how close a lot of the rounds are in actual.
Yeah, most definitely. Instead, it just looks bad, but the match was actually pretty decent. The only round that I would say wasn't, a reflection of how the game went was that last round. It was a flawless round as well. Good job from Noetic just to keep the pace and end on a really huge note. The momentum going into Villa for them looks pretty good so far, but we'll see if Hyferion5 can take back the reins here, as it is their map. They did pick to toe to Villa. So let's see if they have any sort of strategy or what they pull out of their bag of tricks. Have we seen any of these teams on Villa prior?
We haven't seen either of these teams play Villa in a little while. This is their first game that we're seeing of the season, and so as of that, we definitely haven't seen them on broadcast. I think Villa, I feel like I recall, no, I think that was a cafe game that we got treated to by Hyferion5 in the minor league last season. It's definitely been a while since we've seen them have a little bit of a skirmish on Villa. And you know what? It's always a lovely map to visit, nice and sunny, nice and bright. It's in Italy. Italy's a lovely place. It's a lovely map. The only thing that's really missing is a pool.
Yeah,
It's pretty nice.
definitely agree. In terms of what we might expect from the operator bands, what do we think might come out here? Because Oregon, we can kind of predict on what we might see get taken out of play, but in terms of Villa, there's more of a broad opening.
Yeah, Villa has a little bit more flexibility in its ban phase. I mean, you still see that Thatcher getting rid of quite a lot, and by quite a lot, I mean nearly every game. Thatcher seems to be the bane of Rainbow Six Siege as we know it. But on the other side of things, that means we still have one attacker ban and two defender bans to get to choose from. So we're looking at, I think it's always possible you see one of those ranged hard breaches get taken away. And we saw in the last game, Hyferion did get rid of that ace. We'll have to see what they go for on Villa, as we do have the lobby ready. So we'll be jumping straight into that to bring you the action. So we plan out, have a quick search the brain, have a quick rack around for what we might see on the defensive side of things. In terms of bans, you often see your mirrors, you see your Valkyries. Cade is another one that people really like to get rid of, and one that Noetic got rid of the last time around. And speaking of Noetic, as the defenders, it will be them picking up the first ban, removing an attacker of their choosing.
Yeah, I think we might see another ace possibly, potentially. He's a great hard breacher for this map as well. And we did see him go last map, so let's see what Noetic decides to choose here. It is a Thatcher, so we'll see if Hyferion5 picks up my prediction or not here in the next couple of seconds. But, as you said, Ben, it's not too typical to see Thatcher in play, as we do see the ace come through. Thank you, Hyferion.
Yeah, and again, this is just them clearly favoring that Habano. We saw it was actually Autumn picking it up on the attacking rounds that they were able to play out. And, well, it worked fairly well for them. They were able to get everything that they would want to do with it. And Noetic also loved to pick up that Habano, playing it every single round it was available. The only round that they didn't bring that Thermite, was the round that they instead brought the Maverick. So there we go. Seeing that Wamai gone away from Hyferion, who were actually so effective with the Wamai, leaning very heavily into a Goyo Jaeger Wamai playstyle in Oregon. They're changing things up a bit, throwing a curveball at this one. Villa will be a different showing from them on their defense. I think that's quite a good sign.
Yeah, definitely. I think that Hyferion's trying to play into the utility a bit more this time around on this map, as last round it was a bit hard to get those Jaeger ADSs off, especially with the Wamai in play as well. We saw Rooney for the last couple rounds, so I think they just want to say, let's try and see what we can do without the Wamai. Let's see if we can pick up some momentum. We see an IQ in play and a Nomad. Interesting.
Yeah, I think the Nomad is one that you see quite a bit on Villa because, like we were talking about before this matchup had begun, there are a lot of staircases, a lot of potential flank routes on this map. And, well, if you have the air jabs that Nomad brings to the table, you can slap those down, drop them on the staircases, hide them away in nooks and crannies. And it means that when players walk past them, they'll get blown back, you'll hear a big shabang, and you'll get alerted to their presence, rather than having to devote a specific player to what the flank holds of campers. So that's definitely an interesting one, but the IQ, I think, is one that would be interesting to see what they get from it. Maybe I think the purpose of it is to try and catch out some of the gadgetry from below. If they can go downstairs, take control of piano and art, maybe even a bit of library. and they can start to try and remove some of these bandit batteries, remove some ADSs from play that are placed on the floor from below without actually having to invest any utility, any projectiles into those efforts. Well, that would be a great bonus for them. Lets them focus a little bit more on getting rid of these Goyo shields and the deployable shield that
10
smoke.
seconds left.
Yeah, I think that's the plan as the Zoe from MP9 is coming through. We saw on Oregon last map, we saw the impact of Sophia's lifeline and how she just got the Goyo shields from below. So maybe her and IQ are going below and trying to get as much vertical pressure as possible onto the defenders, as we're seeing at Aviator Games hold. Typical hold we see for most teams on this map to start with.
Absolutely, and it's interesting to see that the attack are coming from that master bedroom side, trying to get that horizontal control so that they can extend their presence across to shut down this roam game. And Keto, oh, an early pick coming in for Skies, though not Keto, but it's still going in favor of Noetic. An angle through the unreinforced wall being held onto that vaulted into closet, not quite being checked properly by Hyferion5. And that's not the way you'd want to begin map number 2. Losing MP9, who just highlighting the power of those lifelines, both the concussive blast and the explosive. But it does mean I have to try and find an alternative route around, as a well-placed frag grenade's going to come in and displace Nako. That's the bandit getting removed from play.
Yeah, his batteries are down though, so those will still be in play for the remainder of the round until IQ decides to get rid of them, or someone else from below. You never know, IQ might beam him out. But they do have control of this master bedroom side. Good start from them. Only a minute 30 into the round, so they kind of have to work fast, trying to execute towards the site now, as I think they're just trying to get some flank drones on, make sure that they don't have anyone on those red stairs. The IQ of Prophet trying to inch his way towards this maps, but looks like they're just trying to gain as much information as possible before they try and make their execute with only a minute left. And Smoke, with 3 of his canisters remaining, it looks like, you know, Noetic have a decent plan of just holding the attackers out as much as possible, especially in 4v4 situations.
Absolutely, and this Nitrocell going off over the top is actually gonna, not quite to anyone, but Skies will pick up one on that landing. He's gonna get injured onto Jamil as well, making that triple kill, quadra kill for Skies in the round. All 4 kills coming through. Can he get the ace? No, he can't quite line up the last shot. Prophet shutting him down, but he still has 3 more to find. Won't be able to do it. It will be Clutcher securing that one round in for his team. Oh my, he nearly had the 4K. He had the 4K, nearly got the ace.
Yeah, the cool part was that Goyo shield popped, so you had the fire too. Somebody clip that, please. That was a really gnarly 4K with the fire right in front of him. Looks like we're having a bit of technical difficulty here, so not sure what's gonna come through. We'll see what happens. I think it might be a rehost.
Yeah, we're just having to fix a couple of issues that erupted, and well, it won't take too long to get under wraps. But in the meantime, we get to just have a quick think about that last round. I mean, okay, Skies did a great job in that round. You can't take anything away from him. A fantastic 4K for him. Because unfortunately, he couldn't quite secure that last pick. Otherwise, that would have been a fantastic ace very early on. But 1 round into Villa, we see Noetic come out on top. And the kills that were coming in for Hyferion, one was from that frag grenade, Stizzy throwing it down deep and catching out the bandit of Nico. The other was the pick from Prophet with that G8 onto an already hurt Skies. Neither of these kills were in the opening position that you'd want them to be. In fact, Prophet's kill onto Skies basically came when the round was already over. You're in a 1 versus 4. You just denied the ace. If they can just be a little bit more careful on that entry and get in position, that opening kill from Stizzy was wonderful. Getting that frag grenade into the right spot. Unfortunately, they'd already lost a player themselves before that because of some unknown aggression. I don't really know how to how to pass off getting caught that early on.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. It was just a great play from the Jaeger there, especially just getting that first pick onto that Zofia, as we mentioned in the round. I just think that Jaeger wasted the Jaeger of Skies just wasted enough time for the attackers to take so much time information gathering because of that unknown aggression that within, you know, what was that? At least 30, 45 seconds, the attackers of Hyferion5, come into sight trying to make an execute, and it was just, for nothing because I think Noetic were expecting some sort of a push, especially after that late aggression. Hyferion5 had to respond somehow, and Noetic were just ready for the challenge.
Yeah, it's difficult when you feel forced to make a move, and the only thing waiting for you is the wrong end, really, of the 416 carbine in the hand of Skies in that position. But that will safely secure Noetic the first round of Villa, and they're off to a pretty good start. They weren't able to put on. I mean, they started last map with the first round, and we saw how that one went for them. Maybe we can see a replication of successes, even if it begins on the other side of play. The second round coming up for them, Trophy and Statuary. Very popular site and often brought second.
Yes, I want to see how Hyferion5 decide to attack this. Are they gonna go to Aviator Games and do that vertical or that horizontal take once again on the other side of the map, or are they going to be prepared for a little bit of a roam from Noetic here and possibly try and go from below, try and figure out the best way to attack this? As we see a Maestro 6 picked onto the Ella, I wonder if that's going to be the Ella shoddy we saw from Oregon.
Defenders,
It
protect
very
your
well
bombs from
could
being
be, and
secured
it
by
might
attackers.
indicate an extension over into the walk-in closet. We're seeing Crack setting up his laser gate on that walk-in window, but probably too far from the truth here as we're seeing that wall get popped on open by Keto. That is in fact what they're going for, another aggressive Ella shotgun play. Now this does leave them slightly vulnerable to a push from that horizontal. It just depends on whether going Master Bedroom on the first round when attacking Aviator doesn't necessarily mean that you always
10
play
seconds
the
remaining.
horizontal. Playing horizontal is a great way to play on Villa, but some teams just like
5
taking from
seconds
Master
to go.
Bedroom. They feel very comfortable clearing from Master Bedroom, and when you know how to do it for one site, it doesn't change it too much for the others, and it's probably the most universally applicable. But they are in fact running straight to this Master Bedroom, trying to take on this Ella shotgun head on. We saw how it worked out for them last time. They're going to have to be hoping for a different outcome.
Yes, they will. This is a very interesting strategy I'm seeing out of Noetic here on this site. They legitimately broke open half of that master bedroom wall, so we'll see how that works out. Maybe they late reinforce it, but they don't have any reinforcements. Oh boy.
I think they accidentally lost 2 stun grenades to the laser gate rather than just the one, but the Inja coming through, Stizzy holding the angle as that frag grenade got tossed in deep. And, well, that will lead Keto getting taken out in a relatively quick fashion. 50 seconds have been used up to gain that man advantage. A great job by Hyferion5 on this next attacking round, as they're setting their sights downstairs, trying to remove any potential gadgetry that they can from below, as well as double check there are no roamers downstairs playing in pesky positions as they head their way toward taking that astronomy control.
Yeah, I think that was the right call from Hyferion5. Get the first pick, take the rest of the map control. I don't think Noetic's gonna do anything crazy in terms of roaming. They're gonna just hold their angles, be on site possibly. Oh, no, the Jaeger of Skies was roaming, but I think he's falling back to site possibly. He is, so that's, good stuff from Hyferion5 as there is a minute left. So, looks like they're gonna try and go back up to the master bedroom as I think IQ just got the... Oh, there is no denial, so I wonder why IQ is downstairs, potentially.
It's possible they're worried about potential C4 downstairs, just maybe a free place, maybe someone playing there. But this does mean that we could see the IQ rotate up to help Jamil on this Nomad pick try and clear out Astronomy, because Astronomy is an area you want to get control of, and when you have control of it, you can have a control of a lot of both Statue and Trophy, which are the 2 sites. So that might be the target here, as we're seeing Stizzy trying to set his Geminis in position to gather a little bit of information. One of the drones just ahead of him, almost escorting the Gemini through the building, but Nako holding this very aggressive angle, maybe trying to catch out another player on the walk-in.
Interesting to note, there's 20 seconds left. It's a 4v5. They have to execute here in the next couple seconds. Iana gets the first pick of Stizzy. What a great shot. That might be the opening to get the plant down.
Oh, and Clutcher can't quite make the swing work. Jamil will shut him down. Stizzy picking up another triple kill for him in the round. He's been absolutely on fire as Jamil sees the triple, joining with a double. Now the Hyferion5 taking home round number 2 and putting a rounder on their attacking half, which is really important as they get going, and it definitely getting them earlier rather than later is always ideal.
Yeah, that was a bit stressful there, but good stuff from Hyferion5, getting the intel on at least one pick to execute the last of that later round there, getting the bomb down. You know, that first pick in the first 50 seconds was also very influential. It really helped Hyferion5 just get into the groove here on Villa and take that first attacking round.
Absolute. Oh, Clutcher's gone. Bye, Clutcher. Good night in the chat. Well, that's a shame, but we'll just have to maybe throw to a quick pause while we get Clutcher back in the lobby. It shouldn't be too difficult. But there we go. I mean, this round was a lot better from Hyferion. They were able to shut down the aggression coming out from Noetic. They were able to deal with it as it came, and well, Stizzy picking up a 3k definitely does not hurt your chances at winning a round, and they identified the control that they needed to be able to set themselves up for an execute, which is something we saw them attempt on Oregon, and they were able to do it on Oregon. But they weren't quite able to be in a position to hold down the retake from the defenders. So seeing that change coming in early on Villa is lovely to see.
Yeah, most definitely. Glad that they could take a little bit of what they learned from the last round, a little bit of aggression from Noetic, and take it straight to them. You know, get rid of the Ela fairly quickly. Make sure all their T's are crossed and I's are dotted before they try and make a execute happen. A little bit late into the round, but they made it work and they got the round win. Nothing too crazy. The thing I want to point out is the strategy from Noetic there on that trophy statuary room hold. I want to see it looks like they are going back there, so I want to see if they decide to mix things up a little bit, reinforce those walls. Maybe Ella sits in a different position, perhaps.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be interesting if we see them bringing it again. And so, like you said, that change needs to come through. I think it's really difficult to hold on to with the current economy of the counter projectiles, because Jaeger used to be able to catch 6, now catches 3 at a time before having to be recharged. You used to have Umai, who had 4 discs available very early on. Well, he's banned away. I actually think going for this play with all that in account is a little bit reckless, and I wouldn't be surprised to see Keto get taken out very early once again. I mean, even in the round we saw, they actually threw a second flashbang. I might be mistaken on this one, but I really feel like they did throw a second flashbang into the laser gate as it was being disposed of, and it didn't really change anything on the side of Hyferion. It seems like they were still able to clear Keto. They were able to completely deny the ADXs. It's a complete change-up of how things are done, and here we see Sky setting up his ADSs once again. I hate to feel like it's something of a waste.
Yeah, all 3 of them in the walk-in as well.
Yeah, because you have to invest with all 3 at this point, otherwise there really is no point. At least it's not a deploy. I mean, sorry, at least have a deployable shield in a position where you're going to be putting that doorway. They might have implemented one to try and give some assistance, but it doesn't look like there is one. I mean, if you have a deployable shield covering that doorway, you have an ADS protecting that shield, that gives you the opportunity for a fallback.
Yeah, especially with the laser gate on the window as well. So, I mean, we'll see if it's a late deployable, but it looks like she already put it down somewhere else on the map. Smoke still has his, so maybe he puts it down, but the attackers are already here. It's way too late. Let's see what happens. The Prophet of IQ trying to get some cheeky angles on the drone hole. And once again, you called it. Keto, gone already. 30 seconds in, almost flawless from Hyferion5 once again. They get the laser gate down. Let's see if they can take control just like last round.
Absolutely, and it just means that, well, there goes your FO12, there goes the power of Keto, and he hasn't yet gotten himself a pickup in the last 2 rounds, and it sometimes happens, it's unfortunate, but ultimately I think it's maybe a strategic error rather than a player performance error. We saw him go absolutely ham on Oregon, and I don't see a reason why that would change anytime soon. But here we go, that downstairs control, now that MP9 is still in play, coming through, a couple pings coming in to Crack, alerting him that there are players nearby, and well, he takes that information and uses it incredibly effectively, shutting down that Zofia. No refrag potential on the board, as Prophet wasn't close enough to make his move. Looks like MP9 may be getting a little bit overzealous in his search to remove all the roamers.
Yeah, funny tidbit. It's funny that both of the sisters are taken out first in this round 3. They'll go hang out in the lobby. Wow. The rest of the round ensues, and another good shot from the defenders there. Nako of the Smoke gets that nice headshot, taking momentum in the defenders' favor here, as it is a 4v3 situation with 50 seconds left.
Yeah, and well, it definitely puts the attack on the back foot, because now they have to try and find an opening with that disadvantage. It was in fact a man advantage that enabled them to take control of astronomy fairly quickly, and Stizzy was a big part of that. So 2 big changes in the round, definitely going to have an impact on the outcome. Prophet knows that there's someone playing above him in astronomy, can't quite find the player, and that Grismot will slow his progress down, as he just has to go down, take it prone, and just quickly take a breather. But Nako getting very aggressive, gonna land a beautiful shot onto Autumn, takes down her banner and sets a gas charge on that diffuser. Means someone else has to go and recover it, but there isn't enough time. Skies picks up 1, and Jamil will get taken down by Crack on that Aruni. Double kill for him in the round, and a fantastic change up by Noetic, despite losing Keto early on, able to bounce back and cover the round.
Yeah, I think the momentum swing was that second pick that Smoke got onto Stizzy of the Iona there. It really put favor into the defender's hands. And as we saw last round, round 2, where the execute was late, that can't happen when you're down an attacker. Most definitely.
It does sometimes catch you off guard when a Smoke swings a window, he swings a doorway, he swings,
Yeah.
right? But it's something that you have to be ready for. You have to be you have to have something planned to come back at it with, and ultimately it wasn't done. They weren't ready, they weren't taking the precautions needed to work around the fact that, well, when Nako's on that Smoke, he likes to swing. But with that round in the books, it means that Noetic has the option to return back to the site which they previously won, and that would be the Aviator Games. And you know what? They're going to take you up on that offer, they'll bring it back again, and try and put themselves at that 3-1 advantage in the first half, which if they can secure, try and get maybe even 4 rounds on the board for this half, they're looking very prime position to take home map number 2. And secure themselves the maximum points available for today's playdate.
5 seconds left.
Yeah, quite possibly, but Villa is a defender-sided map. Most maps are, but we'll see how they go into the side swap. We still have a couple rounds. Interesting to note, if they win this Aviator Games, they have to go bottom floor. So I definitely want to see a bottom floor out of Noetic and see how they decide to play that one. The Jaeger of Skies is in the same place he got that first pick off on their very first round on Aviator Games. Let's see if Hyferion5 have learned from their mistake.
Well, they're starting off with this Marsh bedroom push once again, and well, it looks like another player is going to get caught out by Skies, jumping in through the same window which you got caught out on last time, boys. Please, this cannot be allowed to keep on happening. Skies is tearing through your roster, and it looks like he's in... I mean, he could continue on, and maybe he'll be able to even pick up that ace, which he wasn't quite able to achieve last time. But look at this, Noetic are falling back. They recognize that they have that opening pick. They have the man count advantage. And when you have advantage in Siege, it's so powerful. But they're going to quickly lose it as Skies gets overzealous and get caught out by Jamil, holding from the Wolf window. Oh no, that's... I mean, he's such a powerful player, losing him so carelessly.
Yeah, but he did his job. He wasted as much time as possible as the roamer on Noetic, and so, you know, they only have 1:30 left. They have to execute here quickly, but they are getting the kills needed as Autumn takes down the Bandit of Nako. So they're making quick progress here, dropping the diffuser, deciding that they want Stizzy to have it this time around for the execute with a minute left. To note, Keto is still on the roam, I believe. So let's see if he decides to make some noise. Oh, he's on that study stairs.
The one disadvantage of having the Rooney laser gates in your sights is that, well, you can't throw your own defensive gadgetry through. But as we hear it get popped by a stun grenade of the defense, the Nitro Cell through the doorway is now suddenly an option for Clutcher. He's playing behind his Yo-Yo shield. And as I say that, it also gets removed. So please keep the timing perfect for me, boys. But now with 45 seconds, Stizzy setting himself up, trying to gather some information. The 4 versus 3, but there's like 2 players going for a late rotation, just trying to get this alternate angle, hold study down from the attackers, all nearly falling off the building. Knows the jump spot. No way, this is fatal. He's missed it rather than repelling. Just use the repel, play it safe. He's going to get picked up, but this is going to cost them a good 10 seconds. 20 seconds left on the clock now, and it gets way too close for comfort as you have the remaining players, Stizzy and MP9, just waiting on this doorway, waiting for the push in. They still don't know that Clutcher's in that corner, and these gas canisters have been saved. The Nitro Cell from Clutcher comes in huge. It's a kill and an injure, not that he knows it, but that's defused it down as well. Keto picking up Jamil, and the timer has run out. There is nothing that could be done on the attack, and it's been completely saved. Excuse the pun, but clutched has clutched. It's just, that shouldn't be allowed to happen. They lost too much time.
Hyferion5 shot themselves in the foot. Oh my god. How did that happen? You, like you said, Ben, just repel. It'll take 5 more seconds. And instead, you get downed, which takes at least 10 to 15. And then, you know, you wasted too much time at that point. The execute's gone. You lost the round right when Habana hit that floor.
It's really unfortunate because they actually had such a good setup for the round.
They did.
I think maybe you don't have 2 players go study. I mean, you don't even need to control study. You just hold study door. The whole purpose of the rotation to study is just to not allow defenders to come onto that study door into sight, because that's where you're most vulnerable as a player planting on that vault door. So instead it cost them so much time when they were setting it up. They was actually Crack on the Aruni last round was actually able to push into study, take that position. So when Sledge popped open that window, he got eliminated from play. He was no longer able to assist them. And if they just had another 10 seconds on the round, which they hadn't lost elsewhere, they might have had a chance to start putting pressure on that doorway earlier, bait out the Nitro Cell, not end up having to have both players so close. Maybe only one dies rather than a death and an injure. Maybe the gas canisters are more thinly spread, so you have that opening, which you need to get onto the vault door to be able to set the plant down.
Yeah, and again, Skies did what he needed to do. He was roaming, and that's the amount of time it would have taken for possibly Hyferion5 to win that round. These late executes as well for Hyferion5 aren't playing into their favor. Noetic knows it. They're going to make sure that Hyferion5 takes as much time as possible to make this execute onto this bottom floor site as they're taking a vertical angle. And we don't even see a Sledge on the board to do that.
Yeah, and it does make you wonder whether they feel like it's needed, whether they're going to go for the horizontal approach, or whether it kind of slipped their mind that this might be the site that comes up next, and that they might require the use of some soft destruction through the sledge, maybe even a buck, but sledge is definitely preferable when you're throwing down from above. Also, he has access to those frag grenades, but this flank from Nako hasn't been spotted out yet, I don't believe. It doesn't look like any attention is being sent his way, as he is continuing to creep down the stairs, continue to walk around and try and cause problems, but it's going to get Skies, who's going to be caught out. In the meantime, they know there's a prone player behind the archway.
Attackers have dropped
Jamil picking up another. Stizzy dropping from the game, though, will bring one back, but it's going to be Profit picking up the third. Sky's Keto Clutcher all have gone down. And as I say that, Nako on the flank, Autumn was watching. They knew what was coming. It's a 4 versus 1 crack off of sight as well. So now they have the complete opportunity to start putting that case down, start setting that diffuser and turning the time against Crack. The drone coming in, they know exactly where he is. They just need to be a little bit careful. And there we go. It's going to be Ash. Sorry, Yana. No, that is the Ash. With the G36C, not running that R4C, be able to secure that final kill, get that kill as well. Hyferion maybe want to get a pause going just to get their last player in. Completely understandable, as we're just waiting for Stizzy to reconnect to the server while we await the final round of Noetic's defensive half.
Yeah, great stuff from Hyferion there. I think they're just trying to play into the aggression that last round. They just kind of took the fight to Noetic, which I kind of liked. It worked out for them. Let's see if they decide to do some more of that going forward. They definitely didn't waste any time that round, for certain, and it was with a man down as well. So let's see if they have a little chat as they wait for Stizzy to come back and say, "Hey, that kind of worked out. Let's try and not take as much time on the roamers, and let's try and just execute on site possibly."
Yeah, and I mean, it's a difficult one because that shows that Hyferion know what they're doing on their attack. They have a plan in place. But a couple times, early picks, early mistakes have put them in opportunities. Oh, sorry, have put them in positions, not opportunities, where they can't quite maximize what they want to do. They don't have the manpower or they don't have the right utility to be able to set up. And it really hurts their round count. I mean, they could easily be 3-2 up at this point, without question. In fact, they almost should be 3-2 up at this point. I wouldn't say should, because the previous round, which we're talking about, the previous round, a couple rounds prior, where we did see some mistakes with repels coming through, that they shouldn't necessarily have instantly won it, but they could have put themselves in a better position to win it. And that's what separates the top teams from the good teams, where you can see that Hyferion have that thing. They have just the quality factor. They have that something special where they can have these phenomenal rounds like the one we just saw. But sometimes they can't quite put the pieces of the puzzle together, and Noetic are definitely capitalizing very well off of that.
Yeah, just to keep in mind, I mean, Hyferion 5 did come from the minors, so this experience against the Season 4 champions, and now that Hyferion 5 are in the major, this is gonna bode well for them going forward into the season. Most definitely. If not, this is gonna make them improve. I would recommend that they go back and watch this VOD and see what they can improve upon, but they're looking great, especially going up against such a pivotal team like Noetic. They're keeping it close. It's 3-2 on Villa, their map. So it's not terrible. And as for Oregon as well, we were speaking on it earlier. They kept it pretty close in terms of throughout the round, just not the score.
Yeah, and it obviously, like you say, it's not a matchup which you're expecting Hyferion to win. I mean, the community vote alone, whilst community votes are not and should not be taken as an accurate representation of how good teams are, it tells you a lot about the narrative of the match and what what you're kind of expecting to gather. And that is Noetic are very favored in this matchup. They are the champions, the 3-time champions. They are a dominant force and should not be underestimated. They are incredibly good at Rainbow Six Siege. It's actually really good, I think, for Hyferion in this experience, like you said, and we've seen their heights. It's just now building up the consistency and the stability in their play, where they're hitting these benchmarks every time.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more, honestly. So I expect really good things from Hyferion 5 going forward. There's a whole season ahead of them. Um, you know, they have their best foot forward, definitely, especially moving from a minor to major. It's a whole nother game. You have a whole nother map to play. You have more siege to play. You have to, in terms of longevity, keep that fire under you, keep that momentum under you. Make sure that you know what you're doing for both maps. You can't just run out of steam uh in between breaks. That 10-minute break is costly sometimes.
Yeah, and well, we are going to have to just wait a little bit longer while we try and get the remaining player Stizzy back inside the lobby. A couple technical difficulties have arisen, and ultimately, hopefully, they shouldn't be with us too much longer. We should be able to get around them relatively quickly. We'll just have to keep waiting a little bit longer, which I know is disappointing because we really want to see the last round of the half before we get to the side swap and see what we have Noetic, or what Noetic have prepared, for their attacks. And I mean, at this position, if the 4-2 comes through for Noetic, which is almost, I feel like a 4-2 is a comfortable side to end on Villa, but it isn't quite working. If it comes through as a 3-3, that's when it starts to become into question how Noetic's attacks are going to be really important, because if Hyferion are able to pick up a couple more rounds, pick up this last round, well, that's a really good sign.
Yeah, definitely. This is the swing round for sure. If Hyferion 5 decide to take this to a 3-3 going into the swap, they might have a bit more momentum going into the rest of this match going forward. But in terms of Noetic, we've seen what they can do in terms of having momentum on their side. So, if they do take this round, they are going trophy statuary, which we've seen them win once and see them lost once. So it's kind of a 50-50 at this point. We don't see the Ella on the board this time around for Keto. We see the mute, so they might potentially be going for that denial on the trophy wall this time around, or excuse me, a master wall into statuary.
Yeah, I think that's a great change up to make. I think we can all see that Keto wasn't able to get a massive amount of work done when playing in that position inside of the closet. He got caught out both times very early on, didn't even live a minute into either of those rounds. And that just means that you change things up. You bring that mute, you try and slow down where you give up master earlier, but you hold on to the wall for longer. You play it back. You force the attackers to make the push. Because that's actually how Hyferion have been able to get a lot of work done in these rounds, where it's been the attackers having to. So the defenders have been playing very aggressively, pressing onto the attackers. The attackers have been picking up a couple kills. They've been managed to keep themselves in the rounds through that means. With this change, it will force Hyferion to make that first move. We'll have to wait and see if they are able to do it. As Stizzy is back in the lobby and we're launching into the last round of the first half.
Attackers need to locate and defuse.
Yeah, let's see if we can get through the next half without any losses. Let's put ones in the chat for some good vibes for that to happen, as I want to see more Villa.
Fingers crossed. We can only hope for technical difficulties to not emerge. However, I believe technical difficulties is the middle name of Rainbow Six Siege, and every broadcast seems to be plagued with issues, and don't want to slander Ubisoft, so I'm gonna stop actually. But basically, mistakes happen, and
10
sometimes,
seconds left before insertion.
often, we run into issues.
Most definitely.
5
We
seconds
just saw a
remaining.
mistake happen a little bit for Noetic. You know, cracks down to, you know,
Attackers must
low
locate
HP
and
already,
defuse the
and the
bomb.
attackers aren't even spawned in yet until right now, so that's a little bit unfortunate. We see kind of the same strategy come out as all three ADSs are in that closet with that laser gate. I don't think anyone's going to be playing in that closet anymore, as we spoke on it. They're gone within 50 seconds or less if you're playing there.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting that they still invest a lot of utility in a room where no one is playing. All three ADS is still there, no one's in it. Maybe Keto was supposed to be, but he tried to get a cheeky nitro cell outside. Keto spotted him out. They knew where he was on that drone. He's going to get that kill very early on as they're removing these Aruni laser gates with pretty good efficiency. And Keto, that's 3 rounds that you've been caught off guard very early on in this corner of the map. It's not a great sign.
Yeah, I think they need to have a chat with them and say, hey, how about you try something else when we go here? Or maybe it's just terms of strategy. They just trust Keto so much getting that first pick off that they're just like, all right, go for it. And they kind of expect a 50-50 win here. You know, minute 40 left, 5v4. They're just, the attackers of Hyferion5 are taking control below here. So, you know, good in terms of control, good timing. They need to start pushing onto site here soon, though, as Ash is just trying to find if there's any roamers towards this Astro Stairs side. I don't believe anyone is playing down low, but in terms of flank watch, good on MP9 of the Ash, just to check all the corners.
Yep, and now that they have this control, they're pushing downstairs, they've gained it. It means they can start to focus on getting the main wall opened up, although Nako has actually worked his way into walking. And it doesn't look like the attackers are double checking it. They haven't put any more info in, so, I mean, unless his laser sight on the end of his shotgun gives him away, he might be able to pick up some free kills as Stizzy's going to jump right in with the diffuser. He misses the shotgun! No, Nako, you can't afford to mess that one up. And that's going to be another kill coming through for Hyferion. Stizzy with a double kill on the round. And on top of that, it's the smoke gone. But Crack going to find one back with that P10 Roni in the hands of the Aruni, trying to keep things even. It's now down to a 3 versus 4, so man count still very much an advantage of the attackers, but that completely changes now as Sky is able to win out that gunfight in a quick turn from Clutcher. Winner was a Clutcher double kill, sorry. He's actually able to catch one on either side of him. It means there are 2 attackers left with only 8 seconds as one more will go down. Stizzy. What? They're all dying. They just fucking Jaeger picked up another one. Jaeger picked up a double to close it out. Noetic are going to take the round home.
Yeah,
how did that
I'm
one
lost for
slip
words.
through their fingers?
We saw it last map in Oregon. We saw some chaotic round like this as well. We saw it just before the side swap. We saw another chaotic moment for Hyferion5 on that rappel, and we just saw a chaotic moment there for the side swap. Oh, the momentum was in Hyferion5's favor. The whiff on smoke, they had the control. What happened? I think just Noetic just flips a switch somehow.
It's interesting that Hyferion aren't quite able to close out these rounds in which they're getting the opening pick. And it's that they get that first initial kill very early on, but then there's a lot of pause while they're just trying to set themselves up, trying to figure out a way to get themselves in a position to start to begin to execute, to close out the round. And that's where it's falling apart, and that's where a team as tested as Noetic are just going to continue to follow through, continue to put the hurt on, and that's how they're securing these rounds. A good play in these low number situations. And as we see Noetic now moving on to the attack, it's going to be Hyferion choosing to go back to this aviator bar, which it feels like it's been quite a while since we've seen any action on this side of the map. Many thanks to somewhat elongated pause.
Yes, but you know, The question for me is that the Goyle shields aren't going to be remaining
moving
up
out to
as
locate a
long
bomb and defuse it.
as Noetics have, because they're only bringing the Jaeger of MP9. You know, that'll only take so much utility away from the attackers, and it looks like they have a different sort of strategy than Noetic as well. Prophet of Goyo is on the roam towards this master side, but they don't have that peephole that the Jaeger of Skies had, as they are trying to take control. They, as in Noetic, are trying to take control of this 90 area already.
And the push downstairs coming through, trying to find the player on the bar. I believe it's the smoke of Stizzy just on that bar, just trying to see if they can use any of these holes against him. This guy's just looking for something as a frag grenade goes out. Going to catch out Jamil. That's the Malusi playing by main stairs, I believe. Being taken off the table, and Sky is going to shoot through the floor to try and get some damage down. Stizzy are reduced to half HP. There's even more of this floor is going to get torn away, but a lovely turn as he gets some form of information that MP9 is on a flank maneuver, and he shots that one down before anything dangerous can begin. Fletcher now looking for a position, just trying to find their ways. They have that control of main stairs now, setting themselves up. Wait for a little bit of fire to dissipate, but they now have this control. They can set themselves up as much as they want. Prophet has to make something happen in this 3 versus 5. They need to find an opening, but it looks like Clutcher has spotted the Goyo on the drone. He knows what's coming. They know the plan. Six guys now on that Ash, a lovely run up and catching the kill. Skies with a double kill now on this Ramsey continues to plunge his way into sight, digging deeper, searching for more. That fire gonna force a player to turn up into his gun light. He didn't have enough bullets. He swaps their pistol, still picks up the triple kill. It doesn't matter. The one tap for the quadra kill. A flawless round for Noetic as they take round number 7. Oh my!
Oh, I think we've seen the difference between attacks here, as we see the aggression of Noetic. They're just taking it to Hyferion5. They don't give a hoot where they are, what's happening. We saw the Ash of Skies just go crazy in the site. What a freaking pistol whip. Oh my gosh. And it's 5-2. It doesn't look well as we see Hyferion5 go to Trophy Statuary. Let's see if they can gain some momentum back. But as I said before, Noetic has firm grasp on this momentum, and I don't think they're going to let go.
It's just so telling the difference, the presence that Noetic seem to have when they get an opening. They are very quick to make the most of it, and we saw that on their defensives. On their defenses, different word. When you're seeing it happen on the attacking side of things, it's almost more impressive because the confidence that you have to recognize main stairs has been taken. You can now very quickly aggress up it, and I mean, you see Skies in that last round. He knows there's a player, he has Clutcher on the drone, there's no 190, the next player is top of red. They've seen on another drone that there's only one player inside of bar, one player inside the aviator, and then obviously that Goyo on the red.
5 seconds.
You just push in so confidently, take the gunfights, win the gunfights. It's a marvel to see happen out and watch it play out is just an absolute treat. And it's what we are here for, to see some great plays, some memorable moments. But Hyferion now have to try and find a way to claw themselves back in. 5-2 at the moment. And if we think about the way that the last map played out, it was a 4-2 at the half, and then Noetic began to run away with the match. And you don't want that to happen again. You want to keep competitive in it, bring it as close as you can.
Yes, most certainly you want those scorelines to look better. But as I said during the pause, you know, it's just great for Hyferion5 to get their feet wet, especially against the Season 4 champions on a best of 2 major map. As we see Keto go down already, the Maestro of Stizzy might be on the roam, but just like that, Skies takes care of him. As I think Keto's going to get back up now. There's 2 roaming on the first floor towards those red stairs.
Yeah, they are just prying away, looking to see if they can catch these attackers off guard. it's the Mozzie and the Jaeger, MP9 and Jamil, each of those operators respectively, just trying to pry away as Profit has come down to engage in some of the fun. But the attackers are beginning to set themselves upstairs, and if they're not careful with that main wall opened up, this leaves Autumn all by themselves on that smoke for a potential flood of the site, as the attackers are falling right back. They're disengaging from downstairs, apart from Nako, who's lounging around looking for something. Although Jamil can pick up the first kill onto Keto, claiming that IQ had been previously injured. It's a good start, getting that J off the board. There's the minute now left in the round.
A decent late refrag for Hyferion5, as you know, they're just Noetic are just trying to gain more information on where these defenders are. Habana's just trying to hold this angle. The Prophet of the Maluzi, they know the location of Meal on this Jaeger. Nyko might creep up. He might get an angle. Oh, Jaeger's taking his attention off, and there goes Jaeger. What a great push and execute from the attackers. 4v2 situation as Nako gets 2. Double kill for him. 30 seconds left in the round. MP9 of the Mozzie is flashed. He gets taken down. 3v1. A 2v1. 26 seconds left. 1v1. Triple kill for Prophet. He's on low HP. And Clutcher. Is he going to get this kill? He finds him, and what a great round there from Noetic. Bringing it down to the 1v1 for Hyferion. What a great try from them. Unfortunately, Noetic just gets the better of them that round.
And you have to feel sorry for Prophet there, able in such a tight position to worm his way, to turn, to twist, to spin around and pick up a triple kill. But ultimately it was in vain, as Clutcher, well, he got that name for a reason. He just wins those. And that puts Noetic on match point 6-2, trending for a 7-2. At the current rate, they have won both of their previous attack rounds. That has a 100% attacking win rate on Villa this season. Fun fact for you, I'm quite smart for him to figure that one out. But, I mean, what can I say?
Let's get claps in the chat from our caster Ben here.
Attackers need to locate and
Thank you.
defuse
I'm
the
taking a
bomb.
bow.
Yes, please.
Some quick
He deserves
statistics. If only my actual statistics went as well as that stat. But, you know what? We can put that behind us. The year is over. It's summer break for some of us. Not for all of us.
Exactly.
For me, it is. And you know what that means? You need to get to hear my lovely voice, and if you don't like it, well, unfortunate, because
10
you don't
seconds
like it.
insertion.
That's unfortunate for everyone, really. But now,
5
it is
seconds left.
all on the hands of Hyferion5. They have to
Attackers
hold
are
on
moving out to locate
as
a
long
bomb
as
and
they
defuse it.
can, try and pull this back to overtime, which would require the tremendous feat of 4 rounds in a row.
Yeah, and they're going on the same side that they just lost. It doesn't seem as if they changed anything that I can know, as they spot the Mozzie of MP9. He's down to almost 75. He's still kind of on the roam, as he's on the basement floor. I think he might
Attackers
creep up
have
this
located a
pantry
bomb.
stairs and try and get Noetic off guard.
Well, we did mention how the basement isn't very often used, and it's something that is overlooked by the attackers because of that. And, well, if MP9 is able to make it work out well for him, it could definitely shift the sides of the game. But Nako, with that pistol, doesn't need the gun. Who needs a rifle when you've got the pistol? Oh, is it Keto taking a little bit of damage out in an early exchange? MP9 probably getting the worst of it, although their health bars are relatively similar. But it's going to be Stizzy with that Alder in hand, taking out Nako. The Zofia going down first of all, and we've seen a lot of Zofias getting taken out early on.
Yeah, most definitely. I think they're just trying to expect the Zofia for both teams to get some sort of aggression on, the site, take control of the master bedroom, as we see Keto go in there and try and get possibly a late refrag. We'll see, as Stizzy has a great angle on that trophy side of things. I get those two mixed up way too many times.
Very similar names and very similar styles of a room. It happens to the best of us. But it should be noted that MP9 has now come up from the basement. He's promoted himself to the ground floor. Yes, it says first floor, but that's because they don't speak properly over in the Americas. Instead, Crack, sending his Gemini deep, going to get caught out on the staircase. Luckily, it's not his real life, it's just a drone, and that information will be gratefully taken up by Hyferion. Sorry, not by Hyferion, by Noetic on their attack, as it's Hyferion who are trying to bunker down even more Autumn holding tight with a shotgun, being watched by the loving eye of an evil eye. But Clutcher will fall to profit with that MP5 being put to good use, as the defenders continue to win out on these gunfights. 30 seconds remaining, and it's the 3 versus 5 situation that has begun to emerge. Not to the detriment of Noetic, as they're trying to find a way to push in. Skies, can he pull off some magic on this main stairs? He's going to have to go for a play as Keto is pushing into sight, but alas, it won't fall down for Skies. It will work for Keto, although no. They get caught out as they push through too deep, too many gun lines, too many players to keep an eye on, and eventually the defenders will be supreme. They will be able to win this one out. Pulling them back up a little bit. Another round, 3 now on their tally, 3 more to go.
Yeah, that was good stuff. I think in terms of Noetic's attacks so far between both maps, that's the first one I've seen. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's the first one I've seen to where they had like a bit of a late execute onto that round, since they had, you know, a man disadvantage going into that bomb plant. It was only a 4v5, but it was detrimental enough for Hyferion5 just to take that round. Noetic still on match point. It looks like we might go in for another pause here, so we can dive deeper a little bit on that last round once again.
Yeah, I mean, Clutcher really seems to be having a couple issues this game with some connections, but that happened, I believe. We've had a couple players drop out now, and we wished, we prayed to keep things rolling smoothly for you all. Sometimes it doesn't quite work out that way. We can't quite guarantee it. But this is a nice change from Hyferion that last round, and it suggests that maybe their defenses are not all doom and gloom, able to pick up 2 very aggressive kills early on and start to eke their way into some early leads. And when you're on the defensive end and you have a lead, it's a lot easier to be able to play off of that.
Yeah, most definitely. It was great to see that they took that last round. Noetic almost had that balance. The late execute was a pretty much 50-50. Gunfights everywhere. Thankfully for Hyferion, they had the man advantage. So, like you said, too many angles to worry about, too many guns to worry about, too many defenders up for Noetic to make that execute happen. We're gonna see how Hyferion5 likes to play this Aviator games, as the last time we saw him here. It didn't go very well into their favor. It was pretty easy for Noetic to make their execute happen. In terms of operator lineup I see, it looks like the same sort of lineup we saw their first time defending this site. So we'll see if they decide on the same strategy in terms of Hyferion5. We've seen sort of the same operators and the same strategies for each bomb site, for the most part. But you know, they have done a good job on, you know, taking it to the same site like we just saw. They took it to the same site on Trophy Statuary, and they won that round.
Yeah.
So, you know, they do learn from their mistakes. They know what they can do better in terms of how to win the round. It's just, can they hold off Noetic for 3 more rounds? That's the big issue. That's the big question that I have, as Clutcher is coming back. We're gonna see if that's gonna happen or not. I'm not sure. Hyferion5 did take a little bit of momentum that last round there. So we'll see if they want to take it away from Noetic, as they had it firmly. Noetic had it firmly in their hands for quite a while. So, you know, it's a toss-up right now.
It's difficult because if they can continue to find these opening picks and play slower down when they get them, just continue to play for refrags like they did so successfully in that last round, I don't have any doubt that they can put a couple more rounds on the board. The question is, can you pick up 3 more rounds to push it to overtime where you're getting the first pick and then playing it safe? Because, well, when it's Noetic getting that first pick, the sheer aggression at which they begin to push down, I mean, the last time they were defending this aviated game site, we saw Skies take complete hold of the game. He pushed up, got the first kill. I mean, the first kill was the frag grenade, but as in he got his first kill at the top of that main stairs, pushed in further, found 3 more in sight. He absolutely tore the defenders a new one. And if that happens one more time, it's not just Skies on the side of Noetic who can do that. We've seen Keto on the last map of Oregon have some phenomenal moments. Crack this game is putting up an excellent show, and Nako is a player who, when you give him the options, he will take swings and he will in those gunfights. Clutcher, he ain't a support, he's a support, but he's fragging out a lot of the time as well. I mean, put this man in situations where you need a win, he will deliver. Everyone on Noetic is so scary to go up against. And once again, there's no ADS here to protect Jamil. He got caught out last time by a loose frag grenade from the pocket of Crack. I don't see a reason why that can't be emulated by Noetic and lead to another advantage. It's going to be really interesting to see, though, as Autumn tries to get close and personal, Nitrosun in the hand, maybe he can get rid of Clutcher early on. As a stun grenade comes in, going to force him to take another peek. That drone being dropped in, quickly dismantled, though, by that shotgun.
Oh, Nitro goes out. Is he going to get the kill? He does. 4v5 situation already. 2 minutes left. Wow. What a great Nitro from Autumn there to really just try and get this round into Hyferion5's favor.
Oh, and a couple trades coming down. It's Skies getting the worst off than Stizzy this time through the floor as they go for round number 2. Aren't able to pick up Jamil on that main staircase either, which is going to be another problem for them as well. The frag grenades maybe not able to be sent in quite the same fashion. Autumn now feeling very confident in study, going to walk up just to challenge a little bit more. Maybe this is where the defense begin to find their groove, start to put some rounds on the board, and start to run away with the game a little bit, but it's going to be up to Noetic to try and change up the pacing now, as they really need a miracle. Skies on 20 HP, everyone else untouched, but they have 1 member short after Clutch got caught out.
Yeah, a minute left almost in the round here. 4v5 situation. It looks like Hyferion5 does have the momentum here for this round at least. We want to see if Noetic can bring it back or not. They are making their way into study here, just laying down some free fires, trying to get some presence into this site as much as possible. Looks like Hyferion5, especially Jamil, has a great little position there on 90. But, you know, the Sophia of Naiko gets a kill and a team kill comes in, but it's a 2v3 situation still, so it doesn't really affect the defenders too much, but it would be nice to have it a 4v3 situation, especially with 20 seconds left. Oh, and a great shot there, 2v2 situation. You know, both defenders on low HP, Sky's on low HP, everyone's on low HP. Are they going to get this bomb down? Does Smoke have another canister? So many questions to be asked. With 8 seconds left, they're both in the site. Stitchy's trying to retake the site here. Are they just going to hold these angles? Bomb is going down. Triple zeros. Stizzy, is he going to make the play? Jamil in the vault. Gets taken down. 2v1 situation. Bomb down. Stizzy, 50 HP. What's going to happen here? Oh my god! Noetic!
No way!
How? Oh my god, that round.
You could feel the tension there amongst those players. There was just so little in the time, so little on everyone's HP. Giving up this, they had to rotate out the site, and it opened up that opportunity. It was well taken by Noetic, well played by Skies and Crack to close that one home, secure them 2 wins today, 7-2 on Oregon, 7-3 on Villa, securing maximum points and the best possible start, maybe other than 14-0, but the best possible start that they could have wanted for Talent League R6, securing themselves a great head start in this league.
Oh, most definitely. I have to exhale. Wow, that was a crazy last round. You know what? I'm gonna have to give some claps for Hyferion 5 there. You know, great stuff from them. Yeah, I'm ready to see what they can bring to the table. As I mentioned earlier, between these maps, they had some good stuff. They really try to bring it to Noetic. Noetic just, they're seasoned veterans at this point. So, trying to take them down is a feat in itself. But Hyperion 5 took them, especially on that villa, that took them fight for fight there for most of the rounds.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's just something we have to say again is that they did play Hyperion 5 really, really well under the circumstances they found themselves in, which is on the back foot a lot of the time in difficult situations against very aggressive, very strong gunners and a very good team. And they did a great job to contest as many of the rounds as they did, and some rounds that they ended up losing in a different world, if replayed again exactly the same way, up to a certain point, could definitely have turned in their favor. So it'd be lovely to see how they progress through the division. I mean, they effectively started with the hardest game you could ask for, which is the back-to-back-to-back champions, the three-time winners. So for both teams, I think an expected result, Noetic starting as they intend to go on, I have no doubt, and Hyperion just getting started, the kindling has been set.
Yeah, most definitely. We're trying to see if we can get an interview here from a player on Noetic. We have some questions to ask him for certain. Hopefully, he joins the call here in a couple of seconds.
But yeah, I
But
mean, what a game we've been treated to today. Two fantastic maps of seed, some fantastic individual plays. I think the highlight of my day so far was in that Skies 4K pushing in so aggressively, demanding control of the site, and everything fell right into his control because who wants to get in the way of the meat grinder that is Sky's Ash? But
most definitely,
I mean,
and that fire just added a bit of more flavor to it as well. I gotta
mm,
say that last round there, that last round for me was probably the play of the game for
oh,
sure.
and I think anyone would be foolish to tell you that you're outright wrong. What an intense moment. I thought they were camping because when you're in the 2 versus 4, I mean, it's bittersweet. The team kill coming in from the Jaeger didn't. Oh, that. My heart
Yeah,
sank when I saw it.
yeah, definitely. And I spoke on it. It didn't really matter too much. They'd still had the man advantage, but everyone was still on low HP. They got that pick off onto the third operator. I can't seem to remember who. It was so much going on. But
Mm,
once it was a 2v2 situation and everyone was on low HP, Noetic just kicked it into high gear. And they just know how to take control of those certain situations. And that's something I just want to get uh, touch up on from one of the players from Noetic. I just want to see, you know, what goes through their minds, especially in those late round situations. Triple zeros, the bomb is down. It's essentially a 1v2 situation at that point. Like,
yeah, and
how do they get that off?
it was incredible to see. The cover came through perfectly. Everything just fell together for Noetic, and I think that's what makes them such a powerful, such a strong team, and why everyone in Talent, all the teams involved, have to be afraid about coming up against them. They are monsters behind the keyboard. But we're just working on getting this spicy interview where I'm sure we'll find much less information than we all want to know about the ongoings of Noetic for competitive reasons, but a little peek under the hood can't do anyone any damage, hopefully. And I'm sure we'll be able to learn some interesting things about the mindset, the caliber that goes into it. But until then, we are just waiting. So the important question now comes in. So we've managed to get through the entire cast, and yet it hasn't come up as a topic. It's a favorite of mine. It's
Okay, what
okay.
is it?
You you go into a restaurant and you take a seat,
Mhm.
right? And they tell you we only serve one thing. The only thing we serve is waffles.
Okay.
What topping are you getting on waffles? And they tell you we have every topping imaginable. We can prepare it as you like. What are you
Okay.
going for? Serious
Okay.
question.
Yeah. Am I limited to the toppings I can put on my waffle?
No, of course not.
Oh. Oh, that changes things. You know what? I think I might go with a classic like strawberries and whipped cream.
Hmm. Keeping it classy, keeping it
Yeah. Nice
somewhat
and
somewhat
classy.
straightforward, but very elegant at the same time. A respectable decision. I'm sure we'll have some people who disagree. You never go wrong. There's always someone who just goes, "I'm checking everything on the waffle." And at that point, you've killed the waffle. I love
Yeah.
the elegance. I think it sums up very well. Well, with the important stuff out of the way now, the match we had that. Guess we had to. The waffle talk, wonderful stuff. And
Yes.
now we go back to waiting, which means we have to find another thing to fill time with. So
I
this time we're going to fill time with something else. Is there anything that you would like to see? Any maps? Anything that would catch your eye where you're looking for these teams to go to in the future? Anything you want to see from them?
Okay. We just got word we're not gonna have an interview, unfortunately, but I'm more than willing to answer this question.
Oh, wonderful.
I wanna see another I'm definitely gonna look through our production signups, and I'm definitely gonna find another cast of Hyperion 5. I want to follow this team. I definitely want to see what they have in store for the rest of the season. I want to see them go to different places. Maybe they have certain back pocket strategies and other maps that could bode well for them. And especially, we don't know who they're going to play next. So, in terms of going up against, like we spoke on trillions of times now, against, such a giant of Noetic, I think they'll be prepared. I think they'll have a better chance at taking home some points next match that they play. So it'll
Yeah.
be interesting to see who they play and where they go. Um, in terms of a map that I want to see on here on Talent League, and every team you can take note. I want to see some theme park possibly. You know,
Ooh, theme parks out of the
Yeah.
map port. They got slashed.
No,
Replaced with
why?
Chalet, the superior
Okay,
map.
then let's do some chalet.
Okay,
Let's
I'd be
throw in
down.
some yeah, let's throw in
Hyperion,
some
the
variety.
gauntlet's been thrown. Bring us to Chalet, or else. There's no threat. There's no threat. There's no threat there. But that will be it from us at Talent League R6 for tonight's broadcast. Thank you to Sol for being with me through this. It's been a lovely game to watch, and I've thoroughly enjoyed by your pleasant company. It's been lovely to enjoy this evening with you.
Yes, you as well. And everyone, don't forget that season 5 is sponsored by Howling Media. So thank you to them.
And thank you to Jello behind the scenes, who's been both observing and producing this one. He's been doing a great job. And of course, commiserations to Hyferion5. I have no doubt we'll see great things for them. But congratulations on today's performance to Noetic. The champions will stay back on top. Catch you next time.